Wexford laid down a pretty serious marker for the year with a 4-17 to 10 point win over Laois in Wexford Park. What really stood out to me was the scoring that went through the roof for Wexford once Rory O'Connor and Lee Chin came on, which is probably not a massive shock because number one, Laois retiring, there was a sin bin for Lee Clear during that period, not long after both of them came on the field. And they are two of the best forwards or attacking players that Wexford have, so it's probably stands to reason that would lead to more scores. But before Chin came on in the 45th minute, they just put up 2-9. And then for the rest of the game, and it was Rory O'Connor came on just at the same time, the 45th minute. For the rest of the game, they scored 2-8. So that just tells you how it went through the roof for them. But I think Laois would be very disappointed with their shooting. Time and time again, throughout both the first half, when they had a massive wind with them and you think they should be putting up a bit of a score and they managed just 4 points, you just felt like you were looking through you're looking through your fingers thinking, some of the wides were just so bad. And I know Ross King got a nice point early in the game, but there was a point he had around the 61st minute. It was very unlike him, very poor. Jack Kelly had a poor one late on. PJ Scully as well. It was just time after time, just these sloppy, poor wides. For Wexford, they would have always expected to win this game, but the manner in which they did it was obviously quite impressive, especially down the stretch. And seeing so many young players that, and this is something that we'd kind of talked about in the preview show, were there some of the young players coming through that they'd want? And I think Conal Flood was quite good at weighing back. Gavin Bailey ended up getting man of the match. He was also very good. And Mikey Dwyer, who probably not too many people are all that aware of. He was very good and got a couple of classy goals in the first half. Well, especially the first one. Conor Hearn, another player that it seems we're going to hear more about. He soloed through a lovely little hand pass over the cover of the Laois defence, and Mikey Dwyer just flicked it in left-handed, and it was an opportunistic score later on. Long free went in. Conor MacDonald, who impressed at times, he broke a ball, and Dwyer was quick enough and sharp enough to knock it into the net. And I think that's something that Wexford are going to need, a few more people that are going to be able to threaten the goal if they're to kick on next year. Free taking was definitely an issue that I saw in the first half. Chin tightened that up in the second half when he came on. Obviously in the first half, you were hitting the free into the teeth of a gale, or certainly that's how it looked on TV. So that was going to make the free taking all that much harder. Laois just 1 point from play in the first half with the wind, and as I said, just wild shooting and just not great use of the ball at times. Aaron Dunphy a couple of times, I was frustrated with options he took. He's a really good player, but I was a little bit frustrated once or twice, and I'd like to know what you think of that as well, because I think it's a harsh scoreline enough in certain ways on Laois, because it was 2-11 to 10 points after 62 minutes. And that's 7 points, but it's 3 scores, 3 pucks of the ball, as I'm sure we were all told growing up when there's a scoreline like that. But from the 65th minute to the 75th, just Wexford went to town, and those couple of goals late on really put a dirty look on the scoreline. Rory O'Connor with that beautiful sprint through the centre, had both of his catches taken, so he struck it low past the goalkeeper end of roll, and that was a brilliant finish and the sort of thing that he can do, and I'm sure Wexford will be hoping he gets more opportunities to do it this year. And then Conor Hearn at the end with a nice little goal. It was well worked between himself and Diarmuid O'Keefe. They both did a couple of hand passes before Hearn knocked it in for a finish. So I'd be curious to know, are Wexford people feeling really optimistic about the season after seeing that? It was only the first game, and there's going to be mistakes on both sides, so obviously we'll take that into consideration. And Laois obviously have plenty of work to do at this point, but just the collapse late on, after even Lee Clear had come back on after the sin bin at that point, and then they just collapsed in the last 10 minutes. Obviously the game was gone, but it was just, to fade out like that is always tough because it leaves a bad taste in the mouth. So what do you think, Wexford fans? What do you think, Laois fans? Up and down the country, people love their clubs. Just ask the big names.
Sorry, it's kind of hard to put that into words, Shane.
Okay, well,
you always give it your all for the club, no matter who you're playing or what you're playing. You just always have to try and push yourself.
This is for the Tullaroan people, Nicky.
Whatever grade you're playing at within the county, that you were able to have that opportunity to play.
And the other night, like I said, I'm going to watch it.
Well, hopefully you will too, as Our Game launches an online fundraising platform for clubs, helping you raise money for your teams through a live GAA chat show on Zoom. We'll bring some top guests on to tell great stories, put your club in the spotlight, have fun games and touch on the hot topics of the day. There was a time when a club could sell hundreds of tickets to fill out a local venue, whether that was Dancing with the Stars, The Cube, white collar boxing, but of course that's just not possible right now. Yet the costs of running teams remain, so if your club is in need of a financial solution, look no further. We'll do it all. We'll set up the ticketing platform, send unique Zoom links to each person or family who buys a ticket, organise a panel of guests with you, and put on a fun show for those at home. It's a simple recipe to help your club get some much needed cash in the door, with an extra option to sell raffle tickets if you have prizes to give away. Contact us now on events@ourgame.ie to set your club up for the year.